Understanding the human mind and behavior can seem complex, but psychology and neuroscience offer fascinating insights that help us break it down. From why we form habits to how our brains react to stress, these fields explore the intricate connections between our brains and actions by looking at real-world examples, human behavior, and mental processes. Explanation. Psychology explores why we think and act in certain ways, often driven by emotions, social influences, or habits. Example. Let's say you see a friend cry after a breakup. They might feel sad, but they could also experience anger, frustration, or relief. Psychology helps explain why someone feels multiple emotions at once. It can also reveal why people cope differently. One person may seek out friends for support, while another might prefer alone time. This reflects unique personality traits and coping styles that psychology aims to understand. How the brain changes. Neuroplasticity. Explanation. Neuroplasticity is the brain's ability to reorganize itself by forming new connections between neurons. This is how we learn and adapt. Example. Imagine learning to drive. At first, coordinating the gas pedal, brake, and steering wheel feels overwhelming. But as you practice, it becomes automatic. This happens because your brain creates stronger, faster connections for those actions. Over time, driving becomes second nature due to these repeated neural pathways. Even after a break, like not driving for a few months, you pick it back up quickly because of the lasting connections your brain formed. Emotions and mental health. Explanation. Emotions stem from chemical reactions in the brain, and managing them is key to mental health. Example. Consider anxiety before an important exam. This feeling might cause a rapid heartbeat, sweating, and butterflies in the stomach. This reaction is due to a surge in stress hormones, like cortisol and adrenaline. Techniques like deep breathing help calm you by slowing your heart rate, which sends a signal back to the brain that reduces stress hormone levels. Understanding how emotions connect to physical responses can help with managing stress. Thinking and learning. Cognitive psychology. Explanation. Cognitive psychology examines how we process information, remember details, and solve problems. Example. Think about memorizing a friend's phone number. At first, it's just a random series of numbers, but if you repeat it several times, it moves from short-term memory, which lasts seconds, to long-term memory, which can last years. Breaking it down into chunks, like remembering it in pairs, egg 1234-56, makes it easier to recall. Cognitive psychology studies these strategies to improve memory, showing how the brain handles information more efficiently. Sleep and the brain. Explanation. Sleep is crucial for memory consolidation, emotional regulation, and physical repair. Example. Think about staying up all night before an exam. The next day, you might struggle to focus, recall information, or manage stress. That's because, during sleep, the brain processes and stores memories from the day. Lack of sleep disrupts this process, affecting concentration and mood. Neuroscientists study how each sleep stage, especially REM, rapid eye movement sleep, helps the brain organize thoughts, which is why sleep is essential for learning. Brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. Explanation. BCIs are systems that allow people to control devices using their brain signals, which can help those with disabilities. Example. A person paralyzed from the neck down might use a BCI to control a robotic arm by thinking about moving their own arm. Electrodes detect specific brain signals associated with movement, and the BCI translates these into commands for the robotic arm. This technology is still being developed, but it holds potential for increasing independence and improving quality of life for people with physical limitations. Consciousness and free will. Explanation. Consciousness is the awareness of oneself and the environment, while free will debates if we have complete control over our choices. Example. Imagine choosing a dessert at a restaurant. You might think you're freely picking between chocolate cake and fruit salad, but neuroscientists argue your brain has already decided based on past preferences, emotions, and current cravings. Some research suggests that brain activity predicting your choice happens moments before you're consciously aware of it. This raises questions about whether our decisions are entirely conscious or driven by brain processes we're not fully aware of. Each of these examples connects complex concepts to real-life situations, showing how psychology and neuroscience are deeply relevant to everyday life. They offer a better understanding of how our brain and mind work together to shape our actions, decisions, and well-being.